No, thanks for coming, you guys.
And thank you, Rosanna.
Oh, this is fun.
I'm so happy to be sitting and chatting with you again.
This is like a little camp playground.
You know, nobody has gotten on the seesaw yet. So at the end of the interview, what do you guys think? Should we try it out?
I'll try it.
I think we should, yeah. One of us might fall off, but
all right, that's
hopefully
okay.
it won't be me.
No one here has cameras. No one will catch it.
No,
it's
no,
okay.
No. What happens at VidCon stays at VidCon, right? Isn't
Yeah.
that how it goes? Yeah.
Kind of never, but that's okay.
So before we jump into anything else, we have to talk about your book. Because it's a New York Times bestseller. I have it. I love it. It's so fun. And I feel like everyone's wanting you to do more. But tell me about that process. What was that like? Did you sleep at all? I feel like, where did you find the time to do this? And how long had you been thinking about doing it?
I've been thinking about it for a while, and originally I got the idea from a bunch of the community. People were like, Ro, you do all these baking tutorials, you should do a cookbook at some point. And I kept getting more and more requests to do a cookbook, and eventually those requests kind of turned into demands. I move at the speed of a grandmother, so 2 years of requests had been coming in, and this is so funny, but a fan actually made a Nerdy Nummies cookbook and Xeroxed it and like laminated it and like compiled all of the recipes that I had made online and was like, my kid really wanted a cookbook. One did not exist, so I made one for their Christmas present. And they were like, when are you gonna release yours? And I basically said, oh my goodness.
You're like, if she can do it, then I have to do this.
I need to hurry up.
So how did you choose what you included in the cookbook?
Oh, that was really hard. I basically storyboarded a bunch of different things that were considered geeky when I was growing up. Times have changed a little bit, but when I was in high school, I loved math, science, sci-fi, fantasy things, comic books, and at the time, those were more niche, and they were considered nerdy. And now, a lot of those things have become more mainstream, which I really love because more people are enjoying the things that I loved growing up.
And I feel like you're a big reason why nerdy is cool and why nerdy is a little more mainstream. You were a big proponent of making that kind of a cool thing.
Geek has become chic, and I don't know in 10 years if I could even call it geeky anymore. It's just really interesting. So I broke down the book by categories, and I'm a very creative person, so it was more like reining in the creativity versus finding the creativity. And I just came up with a ton of different recipes that I thought people would like and that I love.
And I think they liked them, considering it's a best-selling book. I would say, yeah, they liked the recipes. So I don't know if you noticed, Rosanna, but we have 2 boxes in between here.
Ooh.
And I want you to choose a box. So it's box 2 on top, box 1 there. Don't open it yet. We're going to save it for the end of the interview. Just choose a number, or you can let the audience choose for you if you want.
Yeah, what do you guys want? 1, 2. Okay, that's
I think
2. That's a 2.
Okay, so at the end of the interview, there's going to be a challenge in there.
Ooh.
And you have to do it. You have no choice.
Done.
We're making you do it.
I'm game.
I love that you're game for it. And I also want to remind everyone that if you have a question for Rosanna, you can tweet at instant.me, spelled out instant, D-O-T-M-E, and we will be reading some of those questions here and answering them. And you can ask anything you want, right? So I work for People magazine, and I heard that you saw a tweet from People that was about a certain very famous person and her house, and then you had a very spur-of-the-moment decision.
Yes.
And it was really cool. So tell me about that tweet and tell me about that experience.
Okay, 1, I don't know if you guys do this, but when you're trying to fall asleep in bed at night, I usually have my phone like this, and I'm scrolling through Twitter, and my eyes are slowly closing, and I'm trying to fall asleep, but I'm still kind of reading stuff.
And sometimes it like falls on your face and wakes you up.
As soon as it falls on my face a few times, and I'm like, okay, it's time to go to bed. But I was scrolling, and I came across this tweet, and I screen capped. I still have it. Girl, I'm gonna show you. I still have it, because I sent it over to my manager right away. But it said that you could rent Julia Child's former French cottage where she wrote her cookbook, Mastering the Art of French Cooking, Volume 2. You could rent it now in France on Airbnb because the couple who purchased the house thought it was historic, wanted to open it up to the public and let people enjoy the things she was passionate about and like cook in her kitchen. And I
You had to do it. And the best thing
Yes.
is she showed me the screen grab backstage.
gosh.
It had been up for 49 seconds.
49 seconds. This is real.
And you said you knew right away that you wanted to do this.
Okay, I'm not a very impulsive person, very creative, but not very impulsive. I do move at a very slow speed when making decisions.
You called it
And
grandma speed?
Grandma
earlier?
speed. That's my speed. But with this, I made an Airbnb account. I booked this immediately. I asked my manager, I was like, hey, we should do, but I just did it.
You just had to
Done.
do it. So what was it like being there?
It was amazing. I just came back from France, so I am a little bit hard hearing because my ear popped on the plane and I got an ear infection. We're good now. We're on the mend.
Luckily, this crowd is pretty loud, so I think
Yeah.
you'll hear when they scream for you.
We
Yeah.
coordinated it so she was going to sit on this side so I could hear her. I am deaf right now on this ear, but
That's why I'm sitting over
other
here.
than-
Yeah.
Okay, so we just came back from France and it was amazing. Her cottage is in southern France. It's about 20 minutes north of Cannes. In the countryside, and the little cottage is called La Pichoune, which is the little one. It's a very small cottage, but the kitchen was a little smaller than I thought it was.
Oh, really?
But we made it work. We actually filmed a cooking video there. I think it's going to come out next week, but we made 2 of the recipes from her cookbook because I really wanted to honor her memory. And
Was it inspiring being in the kitchen?
so inspiring. A lot of people don't know that she is my inspiration. She is one of my idols. She's just so fearless. She was so fearless in the kitchen. And I love that at 35, she decided she wanted to do something new. She wanted to explore her passion for food. And she just jumped into it head first. And I think that that's so admirable.
If she
Very courageous.
were around now, I think she'd have a pretty kick-ass YouTube channel, too.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I would subscribe in a second.
You could do a collab, I mean.
I can't. No.
So speaking of collabs,
Yes.
who would you say is your favorite collab of all time?
That is so hard. Who? Markiplier? Shane. I love those guys. Grace. Okay, I love all these people.
It's impossible to pick just one.
Yeah, I'll let
But
these guys pick.
I
don't
want to
if
know
could.
who was the worst in the kitchen out of all of those people.
Who is the worst in the kitchen? Also Shane. Yeah.
Good answers.
I do agree. Rhett and Link were really funny. It was hard for me to focus sometimes because they were so funny.
Have you ever had any total kitchen disasters?
Oh yeah, all the time.
How many fires have you started?
2.
Any in Julia Child's house?
None.
Thank God.
None.
That could have been bad.
Yeah, I was very careful and super careful when I was in her kitchen.
Okay, so collabs. I
Collabs.
heard that you shot a video with a huge, huge star and someone you'd never shot with before and someone you all know, and it's coming out kind of soon. And nobody
Yeah.
knows about this yet.
He's been around for a while. He's classic.
I mean, I remember this celeb from when I was young. He really has been around.
He really likes cookies.
He really likes cookies.
He's blue. Do you guys know who it is? They already know. Yeah, Cookie Monster.
Cookie Monster. It's so exciting.
It's really exciting. Sesame Street is launching a Love to Learn campaign, and they're starting a YouTube channel. And he came over to my house, and we actually made cookies in my kitchen. That was a lifelong dream complete, goal complete.
What was that like?
It was so cool.
Is he cool in person?
You forget that it's a puppet.
Yeah.
The puppeteers are so talented that you forget that Cookie Monster is a puppet. It's the most bizarre thing. I can't really explain it very well, but it was so much fun.
Did he eat the cookies after?
Yeah. The video
Obviously.
doesn't come out for a while. It comes out in November because that's when Cookie Monster's birthday is. It's in November.
Who knew?
Yeah. And we made cookies for his birthday, sweet treat. And then on Sesame's channel, we made a healthy snack, but it looks like a cookie. It's
Love
like a
it.
pita with peanut butter and little raisins. But it really did look like a chocolate chip cookie. I
That's
love
so
working
fun.
with them.
Is there anyone you haven't worked with that you're just dying to? Like, who's your bucket list collab?
I have a huge list.
Who's on it? Who's at the top of that list?
Oh, that's so hard.
Or who are a few people on there?
I think I'm shooting with Dan and Phil next week.
They seem happy
So
about that.
that is amazing. Sometimes I get so busy that I forget to just reach out to people. And I really like when you guys encourage me or remind me like, hey, it'd be cool if you did this, because it kind of gives me a reminder that, hey, yeah, I need to go reach out.
So you've talked a lot about how the YouTube community is so important in lifting people up, and since you launched your channel, it's been such a driver for what you do. But what about the flip side of it? Have you, when you first started, were you told, like, I don't think you should do this, I don't think it's a good idea, maybe you shouldn't go down this path?
I think the only resistance I encountered, and I don't think it was quite resistance, because I like to think of it as a positive thing, but the only thing that I encountered that wasn't supportive was my former agent. At the time, I was working in entertainment, taking oddball jobs anywhere that I could because I loved entertainment. I love movies, I love television. I just loved it.
And in fact, you were on television.
Yeah, I was a working actress. I definitely was not like an Angelina Jolie or anything, but I had a steady union job, and in acting that's very difficult. And I had health benefits, and my family was so happy, and I had a very happy gig.
And did you see that being your path? You know, did you envision
Yeah.
in 30 years this is what I'll still be doing?
Yeah, I was never in a hurry in entertainment. I know how difficult it is, and I was in the long haul, and I think that also, I've mentioned that about my grandma speed. Slow and steady is really how I like to do everything. And with YouTube, the growth on YouTube and the community building so quickly, I wasn't used to that. That's not something that I expected. And in traditional media, when I was working in traditional media, I was so happy there. The only thing that felt like it was lacking was creativity. I felt like when I was on set every day, I just wasn't being creatively fulfilled. And I told my agent that, and I started making YouTube videos. A lot of my friends encouraged me to start making YouTube videos. They said, hey, you can be completely creative here. This is a great outlet. Like, you can be your own producer, host, editor. You have full creative control. This is a great tool for you. So I started making videos for fun, to get more comfortable in front of camera, to just have some fun. I fell in love with it. A real community started to form.
And do you remember when you started to think, I want to have this creative control, I want to have this creative outlet, did you know exactly what you wanted your channel to be and what you wanted to be shooting?
Absolutely not. I was doing a variety of vlogs. I think my first video I ever posted was a video of my sister and I volunteering for Earth Day. We were kayaking or canoeing down a river, picking up trash. I was vlogging. I was trying different things. Baking kind of naturally evolved because it was one of my hobbies, and I started making tutorials and of the experience, and I just fell in love with it. This was so real. People were sending me messages, and I used to write back every single message that I received. Now, unfortunately, I can't because the volume, there's too many. If I did that, I wouldn't even be able to be here hanging out with you guys. If I did that, I'd still probably be typing away. But I think the only hardship that I faced, because the community was so supportive, my friends were so supportive, was when my agent called me into a meeting and said, you have to choose. You know, I don't like that you're making YouTube videos. I think it's a waste of time. And I tried to express myself and say that, hey, the only commercial gig, principal role commercial gig that I booked was because the casting director's kids were fans of my channel.
Interesting.
So I said, see, this is real. There's real value here. This is a real thing. And they didn't agree and gave me an ultimatum. And so I chose YouTube.
And did you have to spend a lot of time on that decision, or did you know right when he posed that ultimatum to you, did you know what you were going to choose?
I knew right away because that was my gut feeling. And I knew in my heart what I wanted to do. I think it took me a few days. I said I would think about it for a few days because I don't like to make decisions quickly. I like to really think them through. But it was difficult. It was the most difficult and the easiest decision of my life.
Sure.
Because it's difficult to give up a steady job with health benefits. It is difficult to give up a job in entertainment where everyone knows you, you know everyone on the crew. It is very hard to walk away from stability.
So you were taking a risk, really.
A huge risk, and at the time, my channel was very small. I wasn't making a dime on YouTube, and I did not tell my parents.
Really?
I did not tell them.
So when did they
No.
find out?
They found out when episodes started airing that I wasn't in.
Wow.
So-
And then what'd they say to you?
They're the sweetest people in the world, and they work so hard. I think they instilled in me a really strong work ethic. So for me, I really wanted to throw my heart and soul into something and see where it goes before I broke the news that, hey.
And I think I saw on Twitter that today is a very big day for your parents.
Yes, today is their 39th wedding anniversary.
Wow, that's fantastic.
They are the cutest, most loving, caring couple, and sometimes they're kind of gross. I'm like, Mom and Dad, stop. You're just disgusting.
So you talk about how you learned work ethic from them, and it sounds like they've been very supportive. What else have you taken from them? Like when people are watching their videos, what in your videos sort of comes from your parents' personalities?
I definitely have my dad's sense of humor. He's very corny, and I have my mom's bubbliness. Is that a word?
Yeah.
Right on. It's a word if you want it to be.
I like that answer.
Yeah, bootylicious can be a word, then bubbliness can be a word. But she is the happiest person that I've ever encountered in my entire life. I'm 31, and I have never met someone more happy than my mom. She's just a ray of sunshine, and I'm like a tenth of what she is.
Wow.
People
I would
meet
like to
her,
meet
and
her.
I'm not exaggerating. She's just this, I don't know, a little glow bug.
That's a good way to describe someone.
Yeah.
It's very complimentary.
She's very bubbly. Little thing.
So I want to go back to this idea of the support and the flip side of it, and I want to know if you read the negative comments and if you've built up a thick skin over time and what it was like reading those comments when you first started out your channel.
Oh, that's a really good question, because negative comments are when you first start to receive feedback, whether it's positive or negative, sometimes it's hard to take. And I think that when you're reading both positive and negative comments, it's really important to be logical and to approach them from a logical point of view and not an emotional point of view. When I read negative comments, I'm a big fan of feedback. I love criticism, whether it's positive or negative, because it helps me be a better entertainer, a better producer. It helps me make better videos. It helps me become a better person. So if you are able, and it takes a while. So for example, I upload a video and someone writes a negative comment. They say, Ro, your face is stupid
Oh my God.
and your lighting sucks. I look at that comment from a logical point of view because I really do want feedback to improve. So I go, okay, my face probably is stupid, but I can't really do anything about that. But does my lighting suck? What kind of equipment am I using? Could it stand to improve? So I do take feedback all the time, even negative feedback.
And have you felt like that from the beginning? I imagine that's the kind of thing that you have to sort of train yourself to think like that and look at it from a logical perspective.
I think if you're new to entertainment or new to putting your material out there, that is something that has to develop over time. I grew up playing sports, so I don't know if any of you play sports. Anybody? Any sports? I was on a soccer team. Right on, right on. And I had a coach who gave criticism, and he gave a lot of criticism, and it was not in a positive way, but how that trained me as a person, as an athlete for so many years, is to disregard all of the emotional stuff and really listen to the feedback that was underneath. And so for me, being an athlete that had a coach who was very, very negative and gave a lot of criticism,
Sounds like it.
It really helped me develop those skills. So when I started uploading content online and putting myself out there, I was able to do the same thing. It was very similar. And I think that's a really good perspective because it's really helped me. Sometimes people just write mean stuff to read mean stuff and it has no value. There's no feedback. It's just,
And you just have to ignore those.
I hate you. And that's why they invented the ban button, short for banish. Bye, Felicia. Yeah.
I like it. Good attitude. So we're going to take some questions from the audience. So as a reminder, you can tweet at instant.me. Let's see what people are asking
Okay.
you. And don't forget about this challenge we have in the box, too.
I want to know what this challenge is.
Start getting mentally prepared for that. I actually don't even know what it is either. I'm excited to see. All right, let's see. While I'm pulling these up, I want to know, do you have another cookbook in the works? We're dying for it. Give us what we want.
Another cookbook?
Another cookbook. We're ready for it.
I have been thinking about it, so
okay.
It is a possibility.
Very exciting. All right, let's see. Francis G.
says, why does your lighting suck? I'm just kidding.
No, nobody tweeted that.
That was a really bad joke.
They're just tweeting, I'm tweeting at you, make another cookbook already so I can enjoy it. So Francis G. at BritlinLove24, are you in the audience? Oh, back there. She says, who are some of your favorite people you have seen at VidCon so far?
All of my friends.
Tell us, who?
So many other YouTubers. They're just so busy. They're doing a million things a year that VidCon is one of the only times of year you get together and see each other. And, well, I do have a lady squad now. I don't know exactly how it formed, but...
Who's in your squad?
My squad it's a friendship squad, a girl love friendship squad.
I love it.
Lily,
That's great.
Superwoman. Justine. Oh, yes. Justine, I went to a wedding, so she's not here at this event. She really wanted to be here. Cassie from Blogalotties and Lindsay Sterling.
Awesome. That's a great squad.
We started to all individually hang out, and then we were like, we should do dinner, and then brunch, and then yoga. And we started hanging out a lot. And they came over to my house, and we did a Game of Thrones, like a slumber party, viewing party, and our friendship really developed, and we noticed that we had the same values. And then we kind of became biffles. That's a strong word. We've never used that before, so I don't know if I should have said that. I put it out there.
Can we expect to see all of you in the kitchen at some point making something together?
We've never done that. I would love that.
I think you should. What would you make if they were coming over?
We have a lot of different food things going on there, so I'd have to figure out something.
Okay.
Okay.
Then we also have a question from Annalise Mortensen. Is she in here? Right over there.
Hello.
She said, what
Hi.
is your favorite recipe that you have ever made?
Favorite recipe?
Yep.
Ever?
Ever. You have to choose one. Annalise is demanding it.
Oh, it's not like a favorite cake recipe or a favorite chocolate recipe. You mean in the entire world?
She's nodding, yes.
For a foodie, that's a very hard question.
She's asking the tough questions. All right, favorite, let's narrow it down. Favorite cake.
Okay. A favorite cake? Right now, chocolate cake. German chocolate cake is go-to on the menu. And the hotel menu, if any of you are staying at the Hilton, I've been ordering the creme brulee.
Ooh, I might have to order that tonight.
Every day, which is why I also need to work out when I get back home.
That's all right. And then we also had a question about the first recipe you ever made. Do you remember what it was?
First baking video I ever did was a Mario star cake, and it was a complete disaster because I didn't know how to work with fondant. My grandma had worked with fondant for years. She was so good at it, and I used to be her little helper and help her out. But when you're doing it on your own, when you're leading the charge, it's a little bit more tricky. Yeah, it was definitely a learning lesson. It was
all right, well,
different.
I think we have come to the moment where you have to open the instant box. So
open the box?
I think we decided on box number 2. So open that up, and you're going to
Can I give this to you?
read the challenge in there.
Oh, this is fun. Tweet a video of the crowd.
You guys ready? So
I
think
know
you
I'm
should
supposed to
do, like,
post
a
this on
selfie
Twitter, but do you
one.
guys want to be on my Snapchat too? Okay, because I just got Snapchat a few weeks ago, and I'm completely addicted. I love it.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, we can do this.
Okay.
All right.
I'll hold your mic. You have your phone with you.
Okay.
You guys have to go crazy. We want to hear lots of screaming.
Can we do a wave?
Yeah, let's do it. She wants to do a wave, so let's start over here, and then we'll move across.
You think it's gonna work?
Let's try it. No, it's going to work. Let's try it. Let's do it.
Okay, well, let's try it. We'll see what happens. Okay, wait.
All right, so we'll start over on this side.
Am I in it or I'm out?
Yeah, you should be in it.
I'm in it. Are you sure?
Yeah. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Do we need to do it again?
I couldn't hear you.
Oh. All right, one more try.
I got this. Okay, ready?
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready now.
3, 2, 1. Well done, guys.
Oh my gosh, we did it.
Well, thank you so much for coming out today. Oh, it looks really good.
You guys, thank you for coming. If you see me around, please give me a hug. I don't get out a lot. I'm always baking.
Thanks very much.
Bye, you guys.
Degree Motion Sense, the world's...
There you go. So exciting, right?
That was sort of beautiful.
The power of YouTube.